Sentry is the newest big powerhouse in the MCU. The power of 1,000,000 exploding suns, all powerful with the ability to do anything he wants. Oh yeah, more powerful than all the Avengers rolled into one. So, seems like the perfect candidate to fight against Superman. It's Superman versus Sentry. We're going to analyze their powers and abilities, strengths and weaknesses to find out who wins. So let's get to it. Krypton is dying, and no one really wants to admit it. Well, no one except Jor-El and Lara. They're the only ones that seem to have any clue what's going on. And their only goal from then on is to save their son, Kal-El. So they built a baby-sized spaceship and just launched him onto outer space, sent him hurtling towards Earth. I don't know why they didn't decide to build a rocket big enough for all three of them, but I guess they figured they would just kill themselves and their alien son was better off being raised by some random strangers in the middle of Kansas. They really lucked out too, because Kal landed on Jonathan and Martha Kent's front yard. And so instead of becoming a tyrannical dictator with godlike powers, he became Clark Kent, Superman, the world's greatest hero. Thanks to being exposed to a yellow sun, Superman, like all Kryptonians, gained godlike powers. Like, literally godlike. He's the most powerful member of the Justice League. He's easily more powerful than Wonder Woman. He's even on par with Hot Boy Zeus over here. And one of his chief powers is super strength. And Clark has done a whole lot of impressive stuff. He's definitely put those muscles to good use. But his best showing was shifting a whole tectonic plate in order to prevent an earthquake. And even though this happened off screen, and all we have to base it on is a newspaper article, why not include it? I mean, it's really not that crazy. Thor is literally doing stuff like this, and we've seen other Supermen do similar things. And in order to do something like this, to shift a tectonic plate, well, it would require 10 teratons of force and energy, or country-level strength, meaning that you could destroy a country with a punch, if a country was small enough where you could destroy it with a punch. So some crazy strength. And all that translates over to how Superman throws a hit, too. I mean, just look at the clashes between him and General Zod, and all the destruction that caused. Look at how he was able to send Doomsday flying up into outer space, or just send him sailing. And then look at how he destroyed Steppenwolf. Steps is pretty tough, too. He's fought against his own Doomsday in the past, and even destroyed a moon in their fight. He survived the destruction of a moon. Couldn't stand up against Superman and his punches. And here's the thing, Superman isn't just crazy strong. He's not just able to throw a mean punch, but like the best fighters out there, he can definitely take a punch too. Like, look at his fight against Doomsday. This monster's sole purpose was to kill Superman. He saw one statue of the big guy and he was done. It was all over from that point. He was gonna kill him. And at the beginning of the fight, Superman is actually doing really well. Gets him out of Metropolis, gets him out of the city, gets him up into outer space. And of course, that's when the military decided to launch a nuclear missile at his face. Probably not the best idea, especially in hindsight. But here's the thing, while Superman was injured, he took the blast. He took a nuclear bomb to the face. It was right back in the fight just a few moments later. It's even possible that Superman was weakened from the kryptonite from Batman earlier on in the night. So if that wasn't in play, then he might have just taken that nuclear bomb no problem. And that's not really the only time Superman has taken an attack on that just astronomical level, because there's also the World Engine. The World Engine is a Kryptonian terraforming machine used specifically to convert a planet's atmosphere and the literal composition of the world itself to become more like Krypton, making it so that Kryptonians can easily move on in there and colonize the place. Just the world engine landing down was enough to completely annihilate a mountain, so that already means that it's made out of something that could withstand a mountain-destroying impact. And then not only did Superman destroy it, well, he did it while weakened and standing under a gravity beam that was single-handedly terraforming the Earth. And I mean, yeah, it was a slow burn, but this was gravity that was altering and changing the entire planet itself. Superman was at ground zero. He was taking all of that force, all of that power, and it was actually overpowering it and flying through it. That's crazy. But here's the thing, Superman isn't just strong, and he isn't just tough. No, those aren't the only two things he has going for him. He actually got a whole bunch of powers, like his freeze breath, or his hypersonic scream, or his heat vision. Oh man, his heat vision. He's able to slice clean through metal and blow stuff up. And we used to believe that he could reach temperatures as hot as 10,000 degrees Fahrenheit. But now, well, Superman's heat vision might actually be way hotter, way more powerful. In Zack Snyder's Justice League, we learned that Kryptonian metal could withstand its core being superheated to 3.5 million Kelvin. No problem. Which is absolutely no laughing matter. The center of our sun is only 1.1 million Kelvin. And yet, here's Superman consistently burning and cutting through Kryptonian metal. Robert Bob Reynolds is a mentally ill individual who was approached by Ox to participate in Project Sentry, aimed at creating the ultimate superhero. Reynolds managed to survive the experiments, the only one to do so, and became extremely powerful because of it. Like, extremely powerful. For starters, well, he's got some absolutely incredible strength and toughness, said to be even stronger than both Thor and Hulk. Now the problem here is that, well, Sentry fought the Thunderbolts, just a bunch of street-level super soldiers at best, and Sentry was holding back while he was doing it. And he had really just learned that he had all these powers a day before, max. He was probably learning that he had some of these powers during the actual fight. Basically, his actual feats are on the lower end, topping out at crash landing back down on Earth and cratering the impact zone and sending out a massive shockwave and being just fine. But really nothing compared to something like Thor moving the rings of Nidavellir, or even Hulk one-shotting the Leviathan. Unless, of course, you believe that US Agent's shield is made out of vibranium. Now, we don't know for sure what it's actually made out of. It looks like it's had a lot more wear and tear than Captain America's shield, but it also looks like it functions really the exact same for all intents and purposes. If it is vibranium though, well, then Sentry bending with ease is like one of the best strength feats in the entire MCU, instantly putting him right up there with Thanos and Red Hulk and all the other vibranium busters out there, which would actually be pretty consistent with how Sentry is in the comics. But of course, we don't know that it's vibranium or not. Heck, it might even be adamantium at this point. What we do know is that it's a rare metal, because Walker still has the same bent shield just hanging around after the movie, so it's not like it's easily replaceable. And since it's also still bent, well, it's presumable that maybe only Sentry can bend it, since no one else has been able to figure out how to bend it back. Sentry's also really tough. He was literally unfazed by every attack that was thrown his way. Also, looks like he's got an autonomous force field surrounding him too, so that just even further increases his durability. And if anything actually does injure him, like the Suicide Squad bomb put in his head, well, that actually doesn't kill him. In fact, it just makes everything way worse, unleashing the Void. But it's not just strength and toughness for the Sentry, because he's really fast too. But really, it's the fact that he has so many other powers. Like he's got telekinesis and maybe some level of matter manipulation, which he's got absolutely no problem just spamming throughout a fight. Seriously, he'll use his telekinesis just with no hesitation and was throwing the thunderbolts all around. He's also got some energy manipulation, either heat vision that you can't see, or he can just heat things up with a thought. He melted US Agent's gun, but more significantly, he was melting Bucky's vibranium arm. Previously, it's taken a full power blast from Iron Man, Vision, and the Mind Stone, and then Thor's lightning to melt vibranium. And Sentry was doing it all by himself with ease. And of course, you can't forget Sentry's telepathic powers, where with just a touch, he's trapping people in their own minds and forcing them to relive their worst memories over and over again. So yeah, I'd say he's pretty dang powerful. Worst comes to worst, the Void is released, which you really don't want to happen. Now, here's the problem with comparing Sentry versus Superman. It's just that Sentry doesn't have the feats. He just doesn't. Superman has leveled a city during one of his fights. Actually, 2 of his fights, so not the best track record. He's resisted the pull of the Phantom Zone, which you can put up there with a black hole. He's also overpowered the World Engine and the Mother Boxes, which were both attempts to transform and terraform the planet. Sentry fought against a bunch of super soldiers. You put Superman in that same position, and he's doing the same thing to the Thunderbolts. Heck, he was already basically in that position and did the same thing to the Justice League, which is a lot more impressive than these guys. But of course, if you want to say that Walker's shield is vibranium or adamantium, then that would put Sentry right up there in strength alongside Thor and Red Hulk and Thanos, which in turn would put him right up there with Superman. And I know we don't know yet what the shield actually is, so I could be wrong, and it could just be titanium or something like that. But the reason why I think it actually is a super metal is because US Agent keeps the shield and doesn't get a replacement. There's clearly something special about this shield, and I think it's that it's vibranium or adamantium. But even still, just bending one shield doesn't mean you're better or more powerful than Superman. Not when Superman is taking nuclear bombs to the face, or speed blitzing the Flash, or just bullying Steppenwolf. Sentry just doesn't have the feats, but he does have the statements. On top of being called all-powerful and godlike, Sentry is said to be more powerful than all of the Avengers rolled into one. Sentry himself directly compared himself to Thor. And then a marketing poster for the movie in China said that Sentry had more power than Thor, Vision, and Captain Marvel. So more powerful than an android with a literal infinity stone in his forehead, the god of thunder who can pull off planetary level feats, and a woman with the power inside of her to reignite a star. According to Marvel, Sentry is as powerful as all of them combined. And I think we have to take these statements as fact. Not just because nothing in the movie ever disproved them, he is a legit powerhouse, but also just because there are so many of them. And they didn't come from the author or director or anything like that, which do still count but maybe carry a little less weight to them. No, these statements are in the actual movie and the marketing for the movie that Marvel is putting out. Marvel clearly intends to portray Sentry as being this powerful. There's just no way around that. So this fight is just the same as Superman versus Thor or Superman versus Captain Marvel. Except according to Marvel, well, fighting Sentry is actually like fighting Thor and Captain Marvel combined. And that is like a no-win situation right there for Clark. And even if you want to say that Superman can beat the Sentry, overpowering his strength, getting past his durability and automatic force field and making his way through that telekinesis, beating the Sentry only releases the Void. And that truly is a no-win situation for Superman, because the Void has all the same powers as Sentry. So instantly, Superman is having to do the fight all over again, and this time against a villain who's not holding back in the slightest. But more importantly, well, Void can just straight banish Superman to the Shadow Realm with just looking at him and raising his hand. And for all we know, there is just absolutely nothing Superman can do to resist this. The Void showed no limitations with this power in the movie. It worked on everything, and Superman has never shown any resistance to this type of attack before. So for all we know, it would work, and it would work instantly. Maybe you want to say that Superman is able to fight his way out of the dream world. But one, well, nothing about this Superman really screams that he would win the day by giving someone a hug. Huge disservice to the character of Superman, but that's just what I see on the screen. Secondly, even if Superman is able to eventually escape, I still don't see how trapping him in a shadow world for who knows how long doesn't still count as a win, especially when Superman has no conceivable answer to this attack. Yeah, I think Superman has finally met his match. Sentry really is that guy. Sentry wins.